Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Whoa. 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 Oh. At some point, enough is enough. This team, these fans, they just can't catch a break. Year after year, it's the same story. Heartbreak, disappointment, shattered dreams. There is quite literally not a single other professional sports team that has a track record of regular season success versus playoff choking like the Toronto Maple Leafs. You can't even write a movie script like this because everyone watching would think it's too unrealistic. They've lost to the Bruins now 4 times in Game 7 in 2013, 2018, 2019, and this year. And then they also lost in Game 7 in the first round to the Blue Jackets in 2020, the Canadiens in 2021 in the Canadian division that they had a 3-1 series lead against, and the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2022. And last night, guess what happens again? The Toronto Maple Leafs fall short. Ilya Samsonov had to be put in the Leafs net, replacing Joseph Woll. And what did we get? A disaster waiting to happen. Samsonov's performance in games 1 to 4 was a joke, letting in 12 goals. Meanwhile, Joseph Woll stepped up in games 5 and 6, giving Leafs fans a glimmer of hope. But no, guess what happens? Woll gets injured from the last play of game 6, and we have to put in Sammy. You gotta give it to the Bruins though this game. They started out this game strong. They outshot the Leafs 11-8 in the first period and put immense pressure on them in their own zone. And guess what? William Nylander, the only one on the core 4 who actually steps up for the Leafs during playoff time, scores and gives the Leafs a 1-0 lead in the third period. But it doesn't matter because in typical Leafs fashion, we blow the lead a minute later off a shot from Hampus Lindholm. And to dive into the game-winning goal in overtime, it just felt like it was a set play from Lindholm, who had an amazing game by the way. And he was just having a chat with a Bruins player before the face-off, and then boom, he sends the puck deep into the Leaf zone, right to David Pastrnak. And what does Pastrnak do? He nails the slick backhand goal and catches Samsonov off guard. And what's really interesting to notice is that Marner during this play, it felt like he just disappeared. Pasta was supposed to be his mark, and he just breezed past him for the puck and the game. It's like night and day when you compare how Pasta steps up after his coach called him out last game, while the Leafs just seem to lack the same level of accountability in their players. Seriously, if the Leafs want to see any real improvement, they need to up their game and change their culture. And as a lifelong Leafs fan, I've been cheering for them since I was 12 years old. And this was back when Randy Carlyle was coaching and Phil Kessel was a star player. And it's crazy to think that 11 years later, we're still facing the same result in the playoffs, losing to the Bruins in the first round. And being a Leafs fan, it just seems like you're in a toxic relationship. Every single year, the Leafs give you hope, and they make you believe that they've changed and can compete on a high level, but in the end, they repeat the same thing over and over again. However, I do hope that this summer will bring some much-needed changes, whether it's the coaching staff, roster, front office, or even all those things. And despite what some people may say, I doubt the Leafs are going to trade Marner or Tavares this summer due to their no-move clauses and the fact that their contracts are expiring next year. It might be a better move to wait until next year to reassess and probably re-sign Tavares at a lower price. And as for Marner, I think he will probably get the most blame for his playoff performances, and this will ultimately lead to his departure. But moving forward, keeping players like Matthews and Nylander on board seems like a good move. They signed long-term and have shown promise in the playoffs, especially Nylander. And as for the coaching staff, Sheldon Keefe is likely on his way out because consistently underperforming in the playoffs for 5 straight years is just not going to fly. The Leafs might opt in for a new head coach, or they could promote Guy Boucher, the current assistant coach with extensive playoff experience, to take over. And looking ahead to next year, Brad Treliving has a lot of flexibility with the defense core. Apart from Morgan Riley and Jake McCabe, who are already on solid contracts, Timmins and Benoit are the only defensemen that are signed through next year. That means the priority is going to be signing Joel Edmondson and Ilya Lyubushkin. And as a Leafs fan, you can be pretty happy with how the D-Corps played this season. They were tougher, stronger, and played well in their own zone while contributing to the offense. And change is definitely on the horizon for the Leafs, and as a fan, it's natural to feel both excitement and anxiety about what's to come. I still remember in 2019 when DeRozan was traded away to make room for Kawhi Leonard, everyone at first was sour about the decision. But change is going to be what's needed for this Leafs team to go far in the playoffs. And as a fan, it's important to maintain optimism while also being realistic about the challenges ahead. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will a championship caliber team be. All you can really do is support your team through the ups and downs, and who knows, maybe the changes will yield the results you've been hoping for. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching again. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.